Good afternoon to those listening. October 23rd, 2025, 3:45 p.m. Here's some news. I just want to throw some miscellaneous news out there. It looks like the shutdown's continuing because the Democrats are blocking the attempt to reopen the government, and I'll show you why. And you can read it right there. They need 60 votes. They got 57 because there's 57 Republican votes, but they can't get the last three. So in this situation, they still want to give illegal migrants, legal aliens, government assistance, including food stamps. And, in the meanwhile, nobody else can get food stamps, but they want illegal immigrants to get food stamps. And they want to not pay the federal essential workers. And there it is again. Oh, so they did get three. No, I think it's 53, sorry. 53, because they have the majority. 53 Republican votes, and then three. So I guess they were four short then. And then going over to my Facebook page, the the blackout is coming. Well, it's been coming for a while. This isn't what I was going to talk about. It was about the Democratic hypocrisy. They're all up in arms about how the White House East Wing is being renovated, and they're destroying it. They're using all this money. Blah blah blah. It's not from the taxpayers though. But then in this video, Lisa Haven shows that back in 2010, they were renovating the White House, and nobody said a thing about it. But now they want to do investigation and all this crap. And then for this, I'll just let you read it because I don't want to say it out loud, even though we know that YouTube has now allowed us to finally put out this information. Again, now this information here, please research for yourself, because I'm not going to say whether it's true or not, although we know how they have been manipulating the information for all these years. But now they're at least allowing the information to be out there. So please research for yourself to find out the truth. And then this one, oh my goodness. So this was from Squirrel Tribe. I don't know if anybody knows that channel, but don't, this is what I said. I mean, that's up to you guys if you want to go to Minnesota, but I used to live there, years ago, a long time ago, but the state of Minnesota has, I don't know what happened to them. Oh, Democratic state, got the Governor Walz. But in this one is about the state of Minnesota is now, maybe it's not the whole state, maybe it's just certain parts of Minnesota, but I think it was Hennepin County. They say they are no longer going to arrest illegal migrants that are carrying firearms, like when they stop them for traffic stops. Usually, we're talking about illegal immigrants that have illegal firearms that they don't have any license for. And they're allowing them to just get away. So they're not arresting them no more. They're not putting them in jail no more. And even if they do, they let them out right away. But they're not going to charge anymore. It's like, what in the world? So here's what's weird. The Democrats don't want anybody to have guns, but they want illegal immigrants to have guns. Does that make any sense? And here's some good news from the state of Florida. Florida's doing a lot of good things, with this stuff here. It's just breaks my heart for all these kids. All these kids getting this, and it's just being, pushed on babies. All these shots. So I have already suggested many years ago, why don't they spread them out at least? If you're going to have these shots, 72 of them, but as soon as you're born and first few months of your life, you have to take all these jib jabs, and it's all at once. Spread them out. Don't have them all together, and spread them out, and let a baby's immune system, strengthen before you do this. I just don't understand why they have to have them so young. And then we got this here, this video here. So it shows, look at 72, and they have, it is illegal and unconstitutional, but they've been doing it for decades. So now finally they're facing legal action. Finally, there's never been tested for safety, never filed the legally required safety reports. It's a shame. And, why has this been allowed for so long? So hopefully it's finally coming out in the open, and finally we're going to get some results from that. And then finally we got this. So here's the cycle. They get these jib jabs right away, and then they get fevers and seizures, so they give them Tylenol, and that makes them even worse. So it's just like a so this shows what happens when they get the jib jabs, and then it affects them. Their system can't take it, and then they develop fevers and stuff. I wonder why. And then they give them Tylenol, and then it causes all this stuff to happen to them, and you wonder why we have such an epidemic of autism. It's amazing that everything's coming out now. I see so many things now on Facebook about this. Remember all the sudden deaths that happened? Well, here's another one. And that's another thing I never understand. Why are we giving jib jabs to, the really super healthy people, young adults, these athletes? They don't need that. They're world-class athletes. They're in the best shape of anybody. And they're giving it to them and wondering why things suddenly happen. In unrelated stories, this came up yesterday in my feed, and I used to do all the videos on Israel. But, this has been going on. Look that was 8 years ago. Huh. Here's a meme somebody put out. It's amazing. They want us to have a digital ID, but, they keep warning about outages and stuff. But what happens when that happens? And then some more hypocrisy. They're saying that President Trump is a king. But, first off, if any king would stop any protest, any kings would say their heads will be chopped off, they'll get in trouble and all that. But look at how many people have been in Congress for, more than 30 years, more than 40 years. And then they have to say that. It's just hypocrisy. It's just amazing. It's just something to divide us. All right. Thanks for watching. God bless.